Good morning, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna. Today I will start chapter 9 of Bhagwad Gita, which is Raja Vidya Yoga, means yoga through the knowledge of sciences. I'll briefly talk about this yoga and recite verses 1 to 15, explaining its meaning. In this chapter, Krishna speaks of his supreme glories, which inspire awe, reverence, and devotion. He reveals that though he is standing before Arjuna in his personal form, he must not be interpreted to possess a human personality. Shri Krishna explains how he presides over his material energy and creates myriad life forms at the beginning of creation, absorbs them back at the time of dissolution, and then manifests them again in the next cycle of creation. As the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, likewise all living beings dwell in him, and yet by his divine Yogamaya power he remains a neutral observer, ever aloof and detached from all these activities. Krishna explains those inclined towards the ritualistic ceremonies of the Vedas attain the celestial abodes, and when their pious merits are duplicated, they return back to the earth again. But those who engage in exclusive devotion towards the Supreme Lord go to his abode. Sri Krishna thus exalts the supreme excellence of unalloyed bhakti that is directed towards him. In such devotion, we must live in complete union with God's will, offering all that we have to him and doing everything for him alone. By such pure devotion, we will be released from the bondage of karmas and attain goal of mystic union with God. Further, Sri Krishna asserts that he neither favors nor rejects anyone. He is impartial towards all creatures. If even vile sinners come to his shelter, he willingly accepts them and quickly makes them virtuous and pure. Thus we should always think of Krishna, worship him, dedicate our mind and body to him, and make him our supreme goal. Verses 1 to 15. Shri Bhagwana Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatam pravakshamanya suvaye gnanam vignana sahitam yajjatva mokshashe subhata Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramida Muttamam Praktyakshavagamam Dharmya Susukham Karma Mavyayam Ashwadhanaha Purusha Dharma Shashasya Parantapa Aprapyam Mam Nirvantate Mrityu Sansara Vartamani Maya Tatamidam Sarva Jagadatta Vakta Murtina Matsthani Sarvabhutani Nachaham Teshva Vasthitah Nachamastani Bhutani Pashyame Yogameshwaram Bhuta Punnacha Bhutashyo Mamatma Bhutabhavanaha Yatha Kashasthitisto Nityam Vayu Sarvagatro Mahana Tatha Sarvani Bhutani Mastya Nityu Paradaya Sarvabhutani Konteya Prakrutim Yanti Mamikam Kalpakshaye Punastani Kalpado Vishrujamyaham Prakruti Swamo Ashtabhya Vishrujami Punaha Punaha Bhutagrami Mami Mam Krusam Dasham Prakruteve Shata Nacha Mam Tani Karmani Nibadranti Dhananjaya Udasina Vadasinama Asaktam Teshu Karmashu मक्षाद्यणे क्षीणय प्रकृतिः सुहृते सचराचरं हेतु नानेन कौन्तेय परिवर्तते अवजानन्ति मां मुडा मानोषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावं जानन्तो मम भूतं महेश्वरम् मोदाशा मोदकर्माणो मोदज्ञाना विचेतसः राक्षसीमा सुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ देवी प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भज्यन्तस्य मनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादेव व्ययम् सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तस्व दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तस्व मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकन्तेव पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्. Which means, the Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, because you are not envious of me, I shall now impart to you this very confidential knowledge and wisdom, upon knowing which you will be released from the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is king of sciences and the most profound of all secrets. It purifies those who hear it. It is directly realizable in accordance with dharma, easy to practice and everlasting in effect. People who have no faith in this dharma are unable to attain me, O conqueror of enemies. They repeatedly come back to this world in the cycle of birth and death. This entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. And yet the living beings do not abide in me. Behold the misery of my divine energy. Although I am the creator and sustainer of all living beings, I am not influenced by them or by material nature. Know that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in sky, likewise all living beings rest always in me. At the end of one kalpa, all living beings merge into my primordial material energy. At the beginning of the next creation, O son of Kunti, I manifest them again. Presiding over my material energy, I generate these myriad forms again and again, in accordance with the force of their natures. O conqueror of wealth, none of these actions bind me. I remain like a neutral observer, ever detached from these actions. Working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms, O son of Kunti. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. When I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know the divinity of my personality as the Supreme Lord of all beings. Bewildered by the material energy, such persons embrace demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded state, their hopes for welfare are in vain, their fruitive actions are wasted, and their culture of knowledge is baffled. But the great souls who take shelter of my divine energy, O Partha, know me, Lord Krishna, as the origin of all creation. They engage in my devotion with their minds fixed exclusively on me, always singing my divine glories, striving with great determination and humbly bowing down before me. They constantly worship me in loving devotion. Others engaging in the yajna of cultivating knowledge worship me by many methods. Some see me as undifferentiated oneness that is non different from them, while others see me as separate from them. Still others worship me in the infinite manifestations of my cosmic form. अतः श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता राजविद्यायोग पंचदशम श्लोकम संपूर्णम. नमस्ते.